The new indie game Stalkerlike that is just released, Misery, is really, getting popular. It's getting out there. It's getting heard, and that's great. Okay, but there are a couple problems with it, and some of them might be serious. Now, the fact of the matter is, they've potentially taken assets from GSC, and even if the asset thing isn't, set in stone, which I'm pretty sure it is, I'm just not. I can't give you the exact models. I know that because I've played these games before. Okay, I've played Daisy Stalker servers, and I've seen the same things over and over and over, like at least a decade at this point. So I kind of have an idea. Okay, but the main thing here is one of the guitar songs in Misery. Now, a lot of them are actually taken, I don't know what they are, what their origin is. I know that a few of them are actual folk songs, okay? That they're used in Stalker, right? However, there is one that stands out among the others. And if you have no idea what that is, this is actually Dirge for the Planet. Now, this comes from a band called FireLake. I don't think they're really active anymore. However, it's not necessarily about the band itself here. It's about the song, because GSC asked them to make this song for them, and it actually went through numerous iterations before it came onto this specific version, which then came to this acoustic version that you now just heard. So this was made specifically for Shadow of Chernobyl. It plays in the bunker the very first time you load into the game, okay? It is literally the very first thing you fucking hear, apart from the intro, the intro cutscene, and Sidorovich talking to you, okay? It is literally one of the first three things you hear. So that's a pretty big one, okay? It's not nothing small. Now, GSC is, I feel like they've been pretty lenient on these issues, because actual Stalker mods have done stuff like this, okay? Anomaly, for instance, is one of the bigger fish in this circle. They sent on what, version 1.5.1 or .2 for a while, and then GSC started breathing down their necks. They're like, hey man, you better fucking do this, or we're gonna make you wish you'd never been born, basically. So Anomaly hurried up and updated the version number of their mod. I don't think it was an actual bug fix, but moreover, it was just them putting a link on the Anomaly main menu screen to the Stalker website, or the Steam page, something like that. Okay, it redirects to the actual page, which, if you've played Anomaly, I would sure as fuck hope you've actually played a Stalker game. But this is the audience we have nowadays. Okay, people are playing Gamma, and they've literally never touched a Stalker game ever, and they think Stalker is some Tarkov like fucking thing, and it's not. But anyway, I'm sure there were a couple other mods that were hit by that, because it really is a rare thing to see GSC actually, flexing kind of their power. But it is their IP, okay? It is their models, their assets. It is theirs to do with as they please. And if they want to pull a EA or a Nintendo and say, you know what? No, they can, okay? And you know why? Because it's their fucking business, man. That's what they're allowed to do it. But they haven't thus far, apart from maybe some very, very serious shit. But I mean, really, it's been almost nothing, okay, since that. And the reason we know about that is because almost nothing has happened since the games have come out, okay? Now, maybe like an SDK is released, or No, not an SDK. Just like earlier builds have released. Okay, then some things like that, and that potentially leads to trouble. But I mean, nothing really huge happens. Okay, GSC doesn't really take anybody to court. I think they care more about the exposure and being heard more than anything, like being seen. So they're like, oh, okay, so this comes from that game, and like this game is mostly inspired from that one, so maybe you should check out that one. And believe it or not, that might actually have a pretty good impact. Now, if we go to the Misery Discord, the developer for the game, or the spokesperson, whoever, says, since the game was released, this was what, a couple weeks ago, so we might even be close to 300,000. But at the time of that post, he said there was 220,000 copies. Okay, now let's do that by $8.99. Okay, $8.99 times 220,000 is just shy of 2 million. That is 1,977,800. Now, if we do it at $9.99, that would be over 2 million. That would be 2,197,000. So, because I don't believe that many people are going to be using the introductory offer, and there's also different bundles on the store page. There's not just the one button, like the one thing. Okay, and I don't know, maybe you can find it on like a key site or something. But the very fact is, Misery has made at least $1 million with these stolen assets. Okay, and that is potential hot water. Okay, that is a lot of money. Well, maybe not to a company, but I mean to us, like the actual people, that's a good bit of money. Okay, and for an indie game, that's a lot of money. Okay, that's great. Even getting into the 100,000s, getting into the thousands, the tens of thousands. Okay, that's fucking fantastic. But there could potentially be legal ramifications for this. I honestly kind of doubt it, because, like I said, this is again GSC, but I don't think there's ever been a game like this, because these have been mods, but like there isn't really a precedent for this issue. You know what I mean? Because all these mods and shit, apart from NLR charging money, nobody's ever fucking like actually charged money for people to play their game, which is the huge thing here. The huge, the difference, because the mods are free to play, and they can argue that they're not making money off of it, which is the biggest thing here. The fact is that money is being made with somebody else's assets. Now, before, you could say, if it was a mod, that, oh, it's a passion project, I'm just doing this in my own free time, I'm not, like, maybe like people donate to the buy me a coffee thing once a week or some shit. Okay, you're literally getting like $5 a month or something. Who gives a fuck? Okay, but this is serious money. Okay, this is the first real attempt at a game. It releases on the store, the Steam page, maybe other storefronts too. I'm using Steam as an example, and it sells over 200,000 copies. You know what I mean? So, not good. Definitely not good. I'm not sure if they're aware. To be totally honest with you, I really don't think GSC is going to do any shit like that. If anything, if you ask me, I feel like they're just going to say, hey, can you, like, I don't know if it'd really be a DMCA takedown or not, but they could just be like, hey, could you maybe remove some of these songs and, remove some of these assets, these models, and, maybe just change the skin or something, like make them something else, okay, that's not ours, and we'll be good, maybe, because I feel like GSC has been pretty generous in this. They haven't really, like, they don't do this stuff at all, because it never happens. So, like, you know what I mean? It's crazy stuff to think about, but I mean, maybe in the coming days we might actually hear something about this, because it is an issue. And if nothing does happen because of this, I mean, things have already been happening this way for years. The Stalker books, people have just been writing bullshit fan fiction and licensing it under Stalker, because GSC doesn't give a fuck. So honestly, I feel like it's like 80 to 20. The GSC still continues not to give a fuck, and things just continue on as they were, because I mean, the books have been going on for ages. People have been writing fucking absolute shit and releasing it, and now things happen there, and those are books. And if anything, those have made at least a little bit of money. I don't know if they've made millions in the case of Misery, but I'm sure they've made something, okay? And even if they haven't, it's still a licensed fucking product using that IP and everything. You know, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm not a legal lawyer. I'm not in this shit, okay? I have the vaguest ideas of copyright and whatnot because I release these videos, and like, you know, you have to know what you have to put in the thing, like what you can get away with, okay? It's a lot like music and sampling, of course. You're supposed to clear samples, but who really does? And even if you do, you might not even be, you know, you might not even make anything with said music, you know what I mean? So the reality is nobody's going to give a fuck if you sell a couple copies of your album with sampled music, because it's only a couple copies. Now, on the other hand, if you are getting exposure, if you are being seen, if you have a fan base, see, you see what I'm doing here? If you have a fan base and, you know, it's in the 100,000s, it's in the fucking, I don't even know, man, at least 200,000 because of the 200,000 copies, right? You're being fucking noticed, okay? And I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Holy shit, dude, this is fucking crazy. As soon as I said this, they literally just sent this fucking like right now, man, not even 7 minutes ago. This is crazy, dude. GSC sent them a strike for weird shit. Look at the claims. We will fight to get our game, to return our game back. Misery. Wait, did they take it down? We have temporarily removed your game from Steam. Holy shit, dude, that is crazy. Examples of infringing content: Stalker Color for Repeated Enhanced, yeah. Original environment content, Clear Sky. So literally all the enhanced editions. That is crazy, bro. That is fucking insane. Holy shit. Wow. They were pissed off that a solo dev made a good game while Stalker 2 sucks ass. That is crazy, man. Wow. I can't believe it. That was fast, man. Look at that. Look at that. Wow.